Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer. Get ready to do that all important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comics to buy. And today, fans, we're talking about it. We're talking about The Amazing Spider Man, issue number 12, Spider-Verse Part 4. Gotta love the cover here. You got the whole family picture of the inheritors with the lovely Spider Man trophies in the background. You gotta love it. And if you spend your time looking at the covers, you get to see all the different Spider-Man, which I really appreciated there. The book is written by Dan Slott. Artwork this time around is done by Giuseppe Comicoli. In events, Herberto Ramos doesn't exist, so you get the other artists that seem to do Spider-Man in these events. Giuseppe Comicoli art is really well done here. I think the way he draws his human faces might be a little off at times, especially when it comes to Peter and maybe Silk. Silk especially, I think, because Peter's not really shown. He's always covered in the mask. Same with the other Spider characters. He always tends to draw them with heavy ink around the eyes, or there's always heavy ink around the eyes. But the artwork in no stretch or any stretch of the means is bad artwork. It's always good artwork to look at. So, um, what did I think about this issue? All right, we'll go through the story a little bit, and then I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on this particular book. Last issue, we left off where Benjamin, Mayday's brother, winds up getting kidnapped by Moreland. Okay, Solus came, just slapped her across the face, picked up the baby. Moreland in this issue winds up taking Benji away. And Mayday's all distraught in it. She's like, "No, I can't believe this is happening." And throughout the issue, you wind up seeing her all distraught. She's like, "We gotta go there. We gotta find out. We gotta find Ben. We gotta go after him." And Peter's trying to reel her back because they just can't go into it without a plan. And throughout this entire series, they've been coming up with a plan, and that seems to bog down this event for me because they're so slow in developing a plan. I kind of understand it because in the same sense they're overwhelmed. They don't know what to do with these inheritors. They've never experienced these guys ever in their history in all of these Spider-Men, so they're kind of lost. And Peter's just overwhelmed. So you get to see Solus throughout the beginning of this issue have the power of Cosmic Spider-Man because he sucked in his life force. And you get to see Peter come back with, yeah, guys, if you're familiar with it, there was a Zord, I think, back in the 60s or 70s. My friends over at Comic Frontline, Jay, yeah, he's familiar with it. They had a Spider-Man like Megazord or whatever it is. They come back with a Power Ranger type of guy, and his name is Leo Pardon, and he winds up coming through trying to defeat Solus here, and you see the Spider-Man. He's like, yeah, we're gonna stop him. He's doing. I just picture his show right now. It's just like Power Rangers, and it's so funny. And there's the picture right there, and he comes through with this mech. And he starts trying to defeat Solus, but really it's no match for it because he's got the power of Cosmic Spider-Man, winds up tearing its arms apart, winds up going to town on this mech, and it's just all crazy. So that was their last great weapon. The safe zone's no longer safe. They have to transport over to somewhere else, and they think they're safe, but they're never safe. You get a message from Gen X saying, "We know this technology. We know how to follow you guys." So again, the Spider-Men are just lost. They don't know what to do. And I just feel like that's just a redundant thing in this series so far, in this event. We're 4 issues in, and it's just we still don't know what to do. We still don't know how to escape them. But a plan finally comes in motion. If you read Spider-Woman, it brings you back to what happens in Spider-Woman, where the brother and the sister, when they wind up coming to this particular Earth, which is 3145, and we wind up finding out that it's radioactive. It's been nuked, okay? And they can't stand being in there. They're coughing, they're dying. Silk has a little bit more resistance to it. She creates this spider suit to protect her from the radioactive waves and whatnot, and she starts exploring this particular Earth, okay? So what happens is we go through another part of the tie-in. If you read the tie-in of Spider-Woman, you wind up finding out that she's one of the housemaids or housewives or whatever you want to call it to Moreland. And she winds up talking to the one that spins the webs for the inheritors to go through. She finds out that he's a slave for them and he has to do their bidding. But if something was to change, he could spin a couple of different webs here and there. So he gives her some important scrolls. Now, throughout the issue, you get to see some lighthearted moments with some of these other Spider-Men, which is funny. You get to see the Spider-Mobile again in here, and you get to see the 1960 animated Spider-Man. And there's some comical moments in here that put some lightheartedness into the issue. Again, you get some more tie-in stuff that has to do with Spider-Man 2099 and find out what's going on with the clone of Moreland. And then you come across this big battle between, the Spider-Man again with Verda. So after getting these particular scrolls from the web spinner here, Jessica winds up sending it over to Spider-Man, and this is something that can be a major player going forward into the actual story here. So Silk winds up getting a transmission to Spider-Man saying we need to come to here, to this Earth. There's this other safe zone, and Silk, using her brains here, which was really smart, she finds out that the inheritors can't take this particular Earth, and all the other Spider-Man travel back to Earth 3145, and where it's all it's all radioactive. She winds up making this path out of her webs, and brings her back to the bunker of this particular Earth where she stayed. And by the time you wind up getting to the end of this issue, you wind up seeing the spider totem that stayed in this bunker on this Earth, and it's a huge spoiler, and it winds up becoming Uncle Ben. And you're like, Uncle Ben! And that's how, like, Spider-Man is, too. He's like, Uncle Ben? And you're just like, holy crap, now Uncle Ben's in Spider-Verse. So it's a huge cliffhanger here. So what did I think about this issue? I thought it was a good issue. I don't think it was the best issue. We finally have some progression in the story, which has been lacking here. I feel the series has been taking too long to figure out how to deal with the inheritors, how to get away from them. It's just been redundant, and the setting of the story has always bothered me. The safe zone where they just stand around and talk all day. Now at least you go to a different Earth. You really know where they're going to. You know it's a wasteland. There's nothing there. So at least you have a different setting. And finally, you get a story here where Jessica sends these scrolls to hopefully deal with these inheritors and to find out what the Scion, the other, and the bride have to do with everything. So hopefully now we get some real story progression, because at the same time, as much as the tie-ins are important to the story, I think they kind of at the same time bog down the issue, and it creates too much in the actual story. If you want things to be tied in, I just think you just tie it into the other series. I don't know how to write it any better than that, but I feel like it bogs it down. But I understand why they have to do it. I don't feel the Spider-Man 2099 thing was really important to show in this issue. The Jessica thing, I understand, and then the Silk thing is too, because it all ties into that story. Again, good issue, not the best. There's very little story progression. At least we got some this time around. I'm kind of upset that they didn't touch on May a little bit more. It's kind of like her baby gets stolen, and Spider-Man's like, well, we can't deal with it right now. We gotta go this way. And May's upset because she feels that every Spider-Man's a fake. So again, good character moments here and there. I can't give it a perfect grade because I don't feel that this is a perfect event. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. It definitely has an interesting cliffhanger, and it's going to be interesting to see how Peter and Ben interact with each other. And it's a good event to bring Ben back, because I guess on this Earth he's been stored away all this time. Who knew? I don't know, but we'll see what happens with Spider-Verse, guys. Tell me your thoughts on this particular issue. And guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, fans. See you soon. Bye.